Like so many days before, you lie in bed and contemplate life. Today you didn't do the things you said you would do. You weren't productive, you just binge-watched YouTube, scrolled on Insta and TikTok, and just watched Netflix the entire day. You achieved nothing. Like so many days before, you procrastinated. So why did you procrastinate? And why do we procrastinate at all? And how can you break free from procrastination? I'm very familiar with procrastination because a few years ago, I was a complete phone addict, a complete scrolling addict, and just binge-watched Netflix and YouTube for hours upon hours. I had a screen time of over 8 hours each day, with most of it being scrolling on Insta, TikTok Shorts, or just binge-watching on Netflix and YouTube. And I had such a high screen time because I procrastinated a ton. Instead of studying, instead of doing hard work, I always chose the easy option. I always chose to procrastinate. And with that, my screen time rose and my productivity sunk. But luckily for me, with hard work, with trial and error, and with consistency, I was able to stop. I was able to stop my phone addiction, I was able to stop scrolling, and I was able to reduce my screen time and fill my time with productive stuff. With stuff that I actually want to do, and with stuff that brings me further in life. With my new free time, I improved my body and I went from skinny to muscular. On top of that, I improved my physical and my mental health tremendously. I fixed my poor sleep and now sleep better than 95% of all people. I traveled around in Europe and in Asia. I rediscovered nature and now find the small things in life enjoyable. On top of that, I climbed the highest mountain in Oman. I read around 70 books in German, French and in English. I ran my first competitive 10K and I'm training for a marathon. I started 2 YouTube channels, this one and one in Spanish, and I never spoke a word of Spanish before I started. So I'm learning a new language. I also learned how to play the piano. And most important, I improved my relationship with my family. And I was able to do all of that thanks to my compendious 5 pillars of quitting that helped me tremendously in achieving all of that. So if you want help with achieving all of that, then click the first link in the description. So today I will tell you why you procrastinate and how you can stop doing it. What is procrastination? If we search the definition, procrastination is the act of delaying or putting off tasks, often those that are important or necessary, in favor of less important or more enjoyable activities. Let's say you need to study for a test. So instead of studying for a test, instead of learning math or whatever you need to learn for, you choose an easier option. You choose to go on your phone and scroll. You choose to game. You choose to just don't do it. You choose the easy option. You know if you would study, it would help you. You know it is beneficial to you. You factually know if you would do it, if you would study, if you would learn, if you would work, this would be beneficial, but you choose to do the easy option. So why do we do that? Why do we know that, we should do that? Why do we choose the easy option? Why, although we know that factually we should do the things, we know it will be beneficial to us, we know it would improve our life, but why do we procrastinate then instead? Why do we procrastinate? The first reason why we procrastinate is because we choose the way of least resistance. In my opinion, we as human beings are lazy. We don't like to do stuff. We like to sit in our comfort zone and have it easy. That's, I think, why so many of us have problems with scrolling, have problems with phone addiction, because it's such an easy option instead of doing work. We like to do the easy option because the easy option doesn't involve risk. The easy option isn't hard, and the easy option doesn't require effort. So most of the time we choose that. The thing with that is, as we all know, if we always choose the easy option, we just fail in life. We don't achieve anything. If let's say you are in school, if you need to study for something, but you always choose the easy option of not doing it, you choose to game or scroll, you will fail school. With work the same. So that's the first option. We choose the easy option. The next thing is we don't think long term. Many of you don't think long term. And you may say, oh, I think long term because X or Y reason, but if you truly would think long term, you wouldn't scroll, you wouldn't binge watch, you wouldn't do bad habits. Because if you look at them long term perspective, you know that all of those habits are detrimental for you. You know if you do them for a long period of time, your life will get worse. But we simply think short term. We think just short term. We have this short term thinking. We have this instant gratification choosing. We always choose this easy instant gratification instead of thinking long term and delaying our gratification for our future. An example is, let's say you need to work on a project. The logical thing, the long-term thinking would be, oh, if I work now hard, if you work now hard, consistent, then my project will be amazing in the future. But most people don't think them. They think, oh, I will do it later. So instead, right now, I choose instant gratification like scrolling. Or another example would be, I choose instant gratification instead of doing the hard work. I choose scrolling instead of hard work. The thing is, if you look at short period of time, this isn't as detrimental because you think you do something fun, but in reality you don't do anything fun because scrolling isn't true fun. You just fuck up your dopamine and because of that you feel fun. If you just look at short-term perspective, you don't see really a distinction between choosing scrolling or learning. But only if we look a long term, then we see if you choose always the hard work, then you will have a good life. If you always choose the easy scrolling option, you have a bad life. So that's second thing why we procrastinate, because we choose short-term thinking. We choose instant gratification. We numb our emotion. What I mean by that is, let's say you want to do something. Let's say you say to yourself, oh, today I will work really hard on this project. Now, the day comes and you don't do it. Because of that, you feel bad. You feel bad because you didn't do it. Now, if you would continue to feel bad, at some point you would choose to do the work. But most of us don't do that. We choose to numb our emotions. We choose to numb our pain. And we numb our pain by scrolling, by entertainment, by gaming, by eating junk food, by drugs, etc. We numb our bad emotions of not doing something. Because we numb our emotion when we don't do something, this creates a cycle. And I explain why in a second. This cycle is called the procrastination cycle. The procrastination cycle works like this. First, you want to do something. And you want to do something that's good for you, that's beneficial to you. This thing is most likely a bit hard. It's a bit uncomfortable. Because of that, you do the second step. You delay it. You push it further back in the day. You say, oh, I'll do it later. Or you have some random excuse in your mind to not doing it. Because of that, you go to step 3. You feel bad about yourself. You feel bad that you didn't do it. You feel bad because you said you would study, but you didn't do it. Then, the next step is you numb that feeling. You numb that bad emotion with entertainment, with gaming, with scrolling, with whatever. With just doing bad habits. You numb your emotion. And then we go back to the first step. Because after some period of time, after you just continue to scroll, continue to game, at some point you will have this urge to do something. You have this urge to, or you know deep inside you, oh, you should do work, you should study. So at one point you say to yourself, oh, okay, now I will go to study. And the cycle continues again. The cycle starts again with you wanting to do something. But you delay it again. And with this, you will go down a spiral. Because you always delay, you always procrastinate, and you are stuck in this cycle. This, in my opinion, is the reason why you procrastinate. Because you are stuck in this procrastination cycle. So, then how can we break free from it? How can we go out of this procrastination cycle? How can we get out and stop this cycle? First step is breaking free. And breaking free isn't complicated. It's actually simple. But it isn't some life hack, it isn't some shiny object, it isn't some magical thing. No. How you break free from this cycle is by doing something, by taking action. And I'll tell you why with physics. Newton's first law states that an object in motion will stay in motion with the same velocity unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. You are stuck in this negative motion. You procrastinate, so you are stuck in this motion. So unless this motion is stopped by something, you will continue to be stuck in this motion. You will continue to be stuck in this downwards cycle of procrastination, of not doing something. So only if you push with an unbalanced force, only if you push with action, with actually doing something, you will be able to break free of the cycle. You will be able to push in the other direction. So to break free from the cycle is by simply doing something, by becoming someone who takes action, by becoming someone who does something. Now, this helps a little, but I will give you some tips to make this easier for you. How can you be someone who does something? The first thing is you use attention points. Attention points are like action points in video games. In video games, you start with a certain amount of action points, and every task you do, let's say you fight, depletes that action points. In real life, this works the same, just with attention points. And you start with, let's say, 200 attention points in the morning. Now, everything you do, every thought you have will deplete those attention points. You wake up and you decide what to wear, -10. You go to your phone and scroll, -20. You decide what to eat, -15, and so on. Every task you do depletes your attention points. Now, the harder the task is, or the harder you think the task is in your perception, the more attention point it requires. So your hardest task that you know you should do, that you always delay, requires, let's say, 100 attention points. So the reason why you feel unable to do that task, let's say in the afternoon, is because of attention points. Because you depleted your attention points so much, when it's time to do the actual task, you simply have too little attention points left. You only have, let's say, 30 attention points left to do the 100 attention point task. If you use this to your advantage by simply doing the hardest task first thing in the morning, where you have 200 attention points left, then you will be able to do the task, and the task feels easier. So, to make it easier for you to break free from this procrastination cycle is by using attention points to your advantage and doing the hardest task first thing in the morning. And the hardest task is simply the task you always delay, you always say you do it later, you do it tomorrow, etc. That's your hardest task. Few example is studying, working, going to the gym. Yeah. Then, to make it even easier for you to do something is by fixing your dopamine. You need to realize that most likely your dopamine is fucked. Your dopamine is fucked because of short form content, because of scrolling, because of consuming so much entertainment stuff. Because of that, only those things give you joy, or you feel joyful or happy when you do those things. So when you do hard work, like studying, working, going to gym, etc., then you feel unable because those things feel hard, those things don't feel enjoyable. And the reason is because your dopamine is fucked. Truth be told, those things could feel enjoyable, those things could give you joy, those things give you dopamine. But only if you have normal dopamine. And how do you do this? By fixing your dopamine. You fix your dopamine by first making a dopamine detox, making conscious effort to limit your dopamine intake. This looks like you do one day where you aren't on your phone, where you aren't gaming, or where you don't consume high amounts of dopamine. Then, to hold this good dopamine, you stop your phone addiction, you stop scrolling, and you stop just consuming useless entertainment stuff. If you do that, your dopamine will stabilize again, and you will have it so much easier to do the hard work, to stop this procrastination cycle, and to actually do hard work. If you want help with stopping your phone addiction, if you want help to stopping your scrolling addiction, then reducing your screen time, filling your new free time with productive things, with habits that bring you further in life, that are healthy for your dopamine, so you can actually do hard work, so you can actually break free of the procrastination cycle, then click the first link in the description. There you will come to my compendious 5 pillars of quitting that will help you with all of that. So if you want help, then click the first link in the description and I will see you there. If you don't, that's also fine. Then I wish you a great day, sleep well and take care. Goodbye.